Hello, happy afternoon on a sunny day. I have a story to share with you, and I might have a special guest join me. She told me that she might come up and join me in a minute. Today's story is called Mindful Mr. Sloth, and it's by Katie Hudson. I've never read this book before. Picked it up at the library. The cover caught my attention. Whoa! Looks like my phone wants to tip a little bit. Well, we'll see where it goes here. Let's make a little adjustment. Pull my pop socket out. That might make it worse. Maybe I'll put my glasses there to kind of prop it up. Okay, I've spent 39 seconds propping my phone. I should get to read the story, but I'm still not satisfied with it. Bear with me, folks. I'm leaning against a cowbell. There we go. Mindful Mr. Sloth by Katie Hudson. Here is the story. Looks like we're at Sasha's house for this story. Oh, look, I got it adjusted and I need to move it again. Good thing you're such patient listeners. Sasha Patience Pruitt was far from patient. She loved to do lots of things all at once. She had one speed: fast. She's reading a lot of books. She's drumming. She's doing cartwheels really fast. Early one morning, Sasha raced up to her treehouse, trampling some flowers along the way. She frantically waved her butterfly net around for 2 seconds and moved on. She had just whipped out her guitar to serenade the birds when she was interrupted by an almighty crash above her head. Sasha scrambled up the roof to find a sloth. "Hello," he said. "My name is Mr. Sloth." Mr. Sloth was going to explain how he had fallen from the branch above during his morning nap, but Sasha was too impatient to wait for his story. "Come along, Mr. Sloth," she said. "We're going to be best friends, and we have so much to do together." They run at very different speeds. They tried playing doctor, but Mr. Sloth took far too long to find a heartbeat. Sasha decided that Mr. Sloth should be the patient. That worked better. They tried building a rocket, but Mr. Sloth was way too slow with the sticky tape. Sasha thought it was best that he do a different job. You see the pictures on this sunny day? Excuse me. Painting took even longer. Sasha had painted 4 pictures by the time it took Mr. Sloth to tie on his apron. "Come along now," Sasha said, picking up a paintbrush and taking over. There, all done. "Grab a helmet, Mr. Sloth. It's time for a neighborhood race." I wonder if he'll like racing. Off Sasha and Mr. Sloth sped, faster than anyone else in the race. Faster and faster they went, until... "Stop!" howled Mr. Sloth. "What is it?" Sasha asked impatiently. "Can you hear that bird singing?" he asked. "Beautiful." Sasha paused. The chirping was nice enough, but she had a race to win. She plopped Mr. Sloth down in her bike basket. Off they sped again, Sasha pedaling fast to catch up, until... "Stop!" moaned Mr. Sloth. With a quick huff, Sasha stopped. "What is it now, Mr. Sloth?" She really wants to win this race. "Can you smell the flowers?" he asked. Sasha sniffed around, pausing a little longer this time. The flowers did smell nice. How'd she never noticed that before? But she didn't have time for this. The race was still underway. "Helmet back on, Mr. Sloth," she said. "Let's go." Off they raced once more, Sasha pedaling as fast as she could until... What do you think? "Stop!" wheezed Mr. Sloth. Once again, Sasha slammed on her brakes. But before she could ask, Mr. Sloth took off his helmet and whispered, "Shh." Sasha waited. She took a breath. She felt a tiny breeze. She looked and she listened. land was still. See what they found? Beautiful picture. Sweet little butterfly. That day, Sasha saw that fun had two speeds, fast and slow. She still liked to go as fast as she could at times, and other times going slow worked much better. And just like Sasha had predicted, she and Mr. Sloth became the very best of friends. At the end of every day, they would snuggle together for story time. Mr. Sloth took so long to read the words that Sasha got to enjoy every part of the story more than she ever had before. She even had time to look at the pictures. Of course, they didn't always make it to the end. At the back, there's a little message. It says, mindfulness is being present in the moment. Focus on where you are and what you are doing. Stop and relax. Think about your breathing. Use your senses to notice the world around you. That's a nice special message. And that's the end. My special helper didn't come out here. I'll have to see if she'll come out for another story. Mindful Mr. Sloth. I love being mindful and just taking a moment to be calm and peaceful. I hope that you have some mindful and calm moments today. Maybe you'll find a sloth too. Have a great day, readers.